Okay, welcome to the demo of the Lymph System. So whether you are interested in getting a biofeedback session with the Lymph System, or if you are interested in getting one to own on your own, either for personal use or business use, hopefully this video will give you a little idea of what you will be getting. So just quickly here, we're starting on the first page when you open up the machine, and it comes up to the demographics. And this is the page where you enter your information or your client's information. So you have the opportunity to put in all of this information, including their time of birth if you have that. And this panel right here is going to show you all of the sessions and whether you've run the reactivity test or not. So what we want to do is, when we do a follow-up visit, and you can see this is me right here, I'm Karen. We're going to do a follow-up visit, and the first thing we do is we go into this lifestyle button. So what this is going to do for us is it's going to calibrate us. And this right now is sending out electromagnetic signals to find and match my energetic profile. And it's doing this in terms of the physical, mental, emotional, and etherical. So emotionally very strong, physically very strong, spiritually not as strong, probably because I'm in the thinking mode right now. And then once we get that, the computer has locked on to me. You can see my name right there. So the next thing we do is we go into the reactivity test. This is going to send out a small electromagnetic signal for nearly 7,000 different things. You can see they're all listed here, what's going to be tested for. And if we go down to the very bottom, there's 6,965 items in here. So I'm going to go ahead and run this on myself while I'm talking. And the other things we can do in here, these are all the different categories that are in the reactivity. And you can see right now it's going through all of these items, sending me a small electromagnetic ping of these. And my body is very quickly feeding back a response, whether I am in a state of balance with it, not in a state of balance with it, or if I'm not in a state of balance, is it a very acute thing? Is it a chronic thing? And then it's going to put all of these in order for me. This takes about 3 to 4 minutes to run. So over here, you can see all the different categories that the machine is going through. This is kind of covering up some of them here, but the most of them you can see there's allergens, amino acids, Ayurvedic remedies, bacteria, bones, brain, chromosomes, circulatory, dental, digestive, diseases, drainage, ears, enzymes, eyes, flower essence, and we'll go back and read these. We have glands, heavy metals, homeopathic, lymph, meridians, miasms, nerves, nosodes, parasites, respiratory, sanum, sarcodes, spinal, toxins, vaccines, viruses, vitams, and miscellaneous, which is everything that there's really not a category for. And a lot of times what falls into here are the emotions, different emotions. So if you're paying attention to what's going on over here, it goes by very quickly, but you can kind of read the different items that it is going through. Down here you have the opportunity to search for an item. So if you were working on a particular stress that you know you are aware of, you can go ahead and type it in here, and it's going to look for it for you once this gets done running. Down here you have the opportunity to import different frequencies that may not be in the machine already. So for instance, what I have down here that says YL inner child, YL spikenard, YL raven, and it just goes down further and further. It won't let me do it when it's running the reactivity. But these are young living oils. So this means young living inner child is a blend, young living spikenard. And what I can do is place these oils on the receiving part of the machine, which you can't see in this video. It's right next to the laptop here. And actually type in the name of what it is, clear the machine from any other energetic frequencies that may be on it, and then go ahead and import the frequency of that particular item. And the benefit to that is when these are imported, then I can go ahead and test these items, either for myself or the clients as well. I do have some clients that will come in and bring certain items that they want to be included in the testing, and that can actually be done in another part of the program. But you can see it's pretty extensive here. And we're not going to spend too much time on this once it stops. I just want to show you how it puts things in order, because this is where the training of the practitioner really comes in handy to be able to make sense of these 6,000 different items. Because we have these frequencies all in us, and you have to know what you're looking for, you have to know what they mean, you have to know if it's something that you should look further into or not. And when you first see it, it can be a little overwhelming and maybe even a little hard to understand. But that's why this really is a screen for the practitioner and somebody who is trained in the program. So what it's doing right now is it's taking all this information and selecting a program for me that it would like to run. So here behind it we had fungus, hormones, muscles, pesticides, and sinus. These are the other categories here. So now it just puts us in the list from the most acute, which are the red items, and it goes down into this blue, and it keeps going all the way down to this, there's no colors here, and then eventually it's going to turn into a different color. So you have to go up quite far to reach it. See, here starts a little bit of green starts coming now. So basically what this has done is it's given me the significance of each of these items. And then, but right here, if you can see where it says indication, this is where it's going to select a program that would be good for my body. So as we go into this, we're going to go to the next panel here because there's a lot that can be. This isn't a training video, it's just a demo. We go into here next and we clear or we test these geographic stressors. So over here we've got the curry cross, Hartman, ley, metal, scent, and water. So these are energetic ley lines in the earth that can be putting a stress or a strain on you, and it's checking for which ones are most significant for me right now, and then I'll be able to go ahead and relieve those stressors, which again you just choose this and it relieves those for the duration of the session, but we're not going to do that right now. So down here, these are all of the other categories that you can go into, which are very similar to the ones you saw on the previous page. These auto programs, these are the ones that the machine selects from. So mine selected this CellCom program. What we can also do in here is do the Susceptibility Index, which is going to run and test these different items, and it will tell us if the stressors that are existing now keep going the way that they are going, what would we be most susceptible to experiencing? You know, we could be susceptible to maybe some blood sugar imbalances, hormonal issues, neurological issues. It kind of gives a little roadmap of what could be down the road if our stressors are not taken care of. So over here, this rife-like, this is an organ profile. Meridians are the energetic highways that run through us. Your spinal is your spine, of course. NEP is neural emotional profile, which are your emotions. Cell-Com is a trifecta of your DNA or cells, and then chakras. So here mine asks for the Cell-Com. This program here, you can test, we'll just go ahead and test it while I talk about it here. It's going to go through and test all of these items and now again decide which ones are considered a stress for my body. And this goes down as deep as basically your cells and your DNA, your body's blueprint. So if your body is working on repairing something, recovering from something that's been carried down from generations, it may show up in this panel. And we can go ahead and give it the energy to relieve that stress, which when we relieve that stress, what we're actually doing is giving the space for the body to heal itself. The biofeedback machine does not heal. It does not diagnose, it does not treat, it does not cure. It's simply a marker and an indication of where our stressors lie. And then it provides the energy to our body to relieve these stressors so our body can heal itself. So right here, this is again going to give us a list of the things that my body is working on. Some phantom pains, which is interesting because I am having some knee pain right now. Peristaltics, hearing loss, stomach degenerative disorders, sports and occupational injuries. This could also be having to do with my knee. And these things could be things you're experiencing or maybe not at all, because you have to remember we're working on an energetic level. Here we've got some more things to do with veins, of vital capacity, which is our lung capacity, tissue issues, menopause related symptoms, which is very interesting because I am experiencing some menopausal symptoms right now, so this will be a great one for me to come back to, and some skin meridians. What you can also do up here is you can go ahead and pick any chromosome you want to send energy to, or you can select all of them and give all of them energy. The way we give things energy, so let's go ahead and pick this one for me. So say I wanted to give energy here. I'm not hooked up to a pad or a harness or anything. We have a choice between Metaspace and harness. So I'm going to choose Metaspace. And now it's going and giving me the energy to balance this stressor. If we go over here, we can actually see, we can actually see how well I'm taking the energy. Here it's a very soft response. It's nice to have the response kind of in this middle mark, because if it gets too soft or too strong, the machine will try to compensate for that and get your body to take it at just the right amount. Again, here I'm talking, my mind is working, I'm actually on a machine, so probably not taking it as well as I could be. While it's doing that over here, these are different genes and diseases basically that can happen because of genes. So Alzheimer's can be gene related, and we can go in there, and if somebody is working with a client with Alzheimer's, you can go ahead and give it some energy there. So know what's happened here. So I received 1 minute of energy. It says it's rectified 96%. 100% is as good as it gets. So this is pretty much balanced. And so my body is saying, okay, now we can go ahead with that stressor gone and we can deal with this symptom, and which is great, great news for me. So as we go through these different panels, you can see you're able to select almost anything you want. We have meridians, allergies, different aging and miasm things. Here you can see these are all aging factors we all can experience: melatonin, RNA, free radicals, collagen, elastin, HGH. All of these are in here. We can check miasmic factors, stress factors from sun, emotions, toxicity, and pathogens, and also energetic age responses to see how our body is responding. We've got biofeedback in gems, bones, brain. Here's the cell common chromes. It's the same profile, whether you want, that's the one that we were just in. Here's the circulation or heart, color and chakras, cosmetic profile, dental, detox one, which I do quite often with clients, digestive. And here we have eyes and ears, the emotional profile, which is amazing. I'm going to come back to this one. Homeopathy, hormones, iridology, which is the science of the eye, and the different organs and emotions that are attached to the different parts of the eye. Lymph system, muscles, nerves, NEP, which is that neuroemotional profile. Even has a profile for animals and pets. Rife-like, which are organs. Respiratory, SAR codes, which I'll show you that. Sinuses, spinal, sports injuries, susceptibility, time-specific, urinary, and vitamin and minerals. So you can see it's quite extensive in here, and it doesn't matter which one you choose. So let's say the SAR codes profile allows you to go in here and work with any of these items. There's no testing done in this panel. This you do by knowing what symptoms you or your clients are having or where a stressor may be, and you want to give that energy. So say for me, if I'm experiencing some menopausal issues, metabolism may be an issue, I go ahead and select metabolic, set the timer for 1 minute, and go ahead and send that energy. So right here, again, it's showing you how far you are in the testing, and it's going, or not the testing, I'm sorry, how far it is in giving you the energy, and then up here, the rectification, how well it balanced. This, you don't have to have this on, but this is kind of a fun little meter for the practitioner, again, to see how well the client is taking the energy. But we have the opportunity to send energy to all of the bones, to the brain. Over here to the right, we have the different brain parts. So if you wanted to work particularly with the temporal lobes or the occipital lobe, you can target those areas. We have the cerebral fluid, circulation, digestive system is in here. So a lot of these are whole organ systems, the limbic system, mammary glands, mucous membrane. Let's see, teething pain here, you can work on infants and children. So right here, it only rectified 30%. So if this was out of balance, it didn't go into quite balance, it didn't fix the imbalance or take the stressor completely away. So we can go ahead and give it another minute, or we can move on to something else. Typically I would give it another minute, but for the sake of this video, we're going to keep going. So we can also do that, and we can add, so say somebody is having an issue with their kidneys and they wanted to detoxify their kidneys, we can send energy to the kidneys and then do a little detox on it at the same time. So that is a pretty powerful panel. Here in time specific, this one you can go ahead and enter your own frequencies again if you know what the frequencies are. And then down here you can go ahead and select pretty much anything you can think of. It's a whole list of different types of diseases and imbalances. Leprosy is in here, leukemia is in here, different kind of sinusitis are in here, shingles is in here. And it works off the same premise. If you wanted to, here's cold and flus. If you wanted to go in and work on a drug addiction to release that stressor, you can select that, go ahead and set the timer, hit metaspace or harness if they're hooked up, and let it run. Here we can give energy to the parasympathetic nervous system. We can include our own frequencies. We can reduce inflammation, infection, degeneration, and pain. And by what I mean by we can go ahead and reduce these things is we can create the environment for the body to reduce these things. Because again, the machine does not diagnose, treat, or cure. I can't emphasize that enough. It provides the space for that to be done. And then if somebody's had cancer treatment, we can release the negative effects of chemotherapy, radiation, medications, and metastasis. So I think you're getting the idea here. Another one that is always, if you have somebody who's actually working on maybe increasing their golf game, maybe there's some type of athlete or they're training, this is always nice to go into because we can do an oxygen stimulation for the body, focus that mind-body connection, work on inflammation, infection, degeneration, and pain. There's a cortisol increase or decrease available in here, dopamines. And again, it runs off the same premise. You set the amount of time you want it to run for, and then you go ahead and give the energy. So another profile that I go into actually quite often is the Detox Panel. And when you test these, it's going to test these different toxins for you. And then you can go ahead and do the same and give energy and relieve these different stressors. So if you have somebody who's got some sugar toxins in there, you can go ahead and select it, give it energy. If there's quite a few toxins showing, you may want to select all of it and give it 5 minutes of energy altogether. Another panel that is one of my favorites is this emotional panel. So when we go into here, it's going to show us 4 different categories. And this is really helpful for yourself, for a child, for a client, because emotions are really the underlying reason for all of our disease and imbalances, unless you've been in a physical accident or had some kind of a physical injury occur. So here it's going to test, let's see how my emotions are. So we're going to go ahead and put in the age of the client or yourself. And we're going to go ahead and test this emotional stress factor here. Over here we've got conflict stress factors, and they're all just listed. It's just going through and giving us, testing it. Relationship stress factors here, different relationships that could be causing your stress. And age stress factors. It's going to go through the times of your life, starting from conception all the way to your current age, and showing you those times that had some kind of a stressful event in it that your body is still holding on to. And these can be quite eye-opening. I hear a lot of times, well, you know, I thought I was over that, you know, I've kind of forgotten about that. But the body has remembered, and it allows us to understand what the body is saying. So here, my #1 emotional stress factor is repression. So indicating there's something I'm repressing that needs to be expressed. And here's suppression of important news. So something's going on. Non-communicative, lack of interest, psychic clarity, and insensitivity. And these can be your emotions or the emotions of somebody else near you that is causing stress. Down here in the chronics, perfectionistic, well, there you go. Yes, that tends to be me. Lack of forgiveness, could be forgiveness of yourself or others. A need to change, unconditional love, there's some anger bubbling down in there, and intimacy. So all of these things are indicating where there is a need for balance to occur, and we can do the same thing. So we can go ahead and select that, set the timer, set the timer for a minute, hit Metaspace or harness, and it's going to go ahead and give this energy. So we can do that for all 4 of these panels, or we can go over here and choose these different categories. So say we just want to reduce our anxiety. Go in here, click anxiety reduce, give it a minute, and send that energy. We've got deep relaxation, inner peace, stress reduction, which is what the machine is all about, pain and stress reduction, And we've got all these great categories. So brain processes, here's another reduction, clearing energy field. Circadian, stabilize if somebody's not sleeping well or their circadian rhythm has gotten off. Body-centered issues, we can have fatigue reduction, mind-body unity, Qigong stimulation. So there's all kinds of opportunities in here to balance things that have to do with the emotions. So I think you're getting a pretty good idea of what this is all capable of doing. Any of these categories, we can go into dental. You can see it can test the teeth and the different amalgams that are in there, or maybe in there. We can go into the bones and select specific bones through the anatomical or specific stressors for the bones. If there's bone spurs, benign bone tumors, we can go ahead and choose any of those. We can go into the spine itself, test for individual vertebrae, and then give those energies as well. There's also a dermatome panel in here, which often relate to the skin and the nerves going to the different areas of the body. So if somebody is having issues with their neck or shoulders, or maybe there's a rash going up and down, I tend to use it mostly for rashes and skin-related issues, but it's also good to send energy to other areas as well. And we can go ahead and select the different areas here to give that energy. Hormones is also very good. You can test for females and males. They distinguish between the different different genders, and again it's going to test it. It's going to go through this whole list of 37 hormones, tell you which ones are out of balance, and allow you to send it the energy. We've got the lymph system here, so again we can do it by certain biospecific stressors or anatomically, if you know for certain which lymph nodes are being affected or stressed. And here they put the common categories to stimulate the lymph. Maybe you want to do a little clearing of infection or degeneration. Maybe somebody's got some pain in their lymph nodes. We can add an emphasis to that. And also, there's so many. So you can see the list here. I'm going to try to put the list also where you can click and see all the panels in a PDF format, so you can go into these individuals and take a look at them and spend more time with them. The vitamins and minerals are going to list all of your minerals, amino acids, and vitamins. And here's another place, if somebody is saying they're taking a supplement, you can go ahead and put it on the tray and test it, and it'll tell you what kind of balance it is for that person and indicate if it is okay with the body or if it is actually causing a stress for the body. And I think the last one I'm going to show for this profile is this Chakra Profile, which is kind of nice. It's going to go ahead and test for the chakras and go ahead and give you a number indication here of what is in and out of balance. And then you can also test the aura. And it's going to give you a nice colored picture. This is a standard, what it always shows, nice colored picture of what that aura looks like. And you can tell more about the energy of that person. So if their aura was more of a lavender, you can see they're more in an imagination, mystical, daydreamer, fantasy, artistic. This is the kind of energy that they are emitting. So you can tell a lot about what's going on from the aura as well. And I think that's all I want to show right now, because there's so much that you can go into, but I think you get the idea. Basically, there's nothing, I haven't run into anything really that's not in this machine that cannot be addressed. Here's the animal and pets. And you can see you've got dogs, fish, snakes, pigs, horse, cats, cows, birds, gerbils and mice, and anything else you might have. And you can go ahead and give the energy to your pet as well. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what the machine is all about and what it's capable of doing. So of course, check out the other information that is on my website at fireflywithin.com. And if you have any questions, contact me at info@fireflywithin.com or give me a call at 239-980-3257, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So I hope that helps, and have a blessed day.